In an interview with Susan West, Dallas Miller of Avon talks about the schools in Avon and Buxton and recalls the Ash Wednesday storm.
Well, I started school here in Avon.
Well, where was that?
You know where the Sands of Time campground is?
Yeah, on the North End Road?
Yeah, it was right there. I think I went to the 6th grade and started in the 7th grade down to Buxton.
When they consolidated?
Yes, when they consolidated.
And they got rid of the school?
Yes. The first room had the 1st through the 4th grade. The second one had the 5th through the 8th.
Okay.
In the 9th grade, you went to Buxton, down where the electric plant is now. In the 9th grade, you went there. That was the high school. After you went to the 8th grade up here, then you went 9th through 12th down to Buxton. My brother graduated out of Buxton, that one.
So, do you remember how many teachers were there at that school?
2. One was for the 1st through the 4th grade, and when I was there, her name was Miss Parks. Then the 5th through the 8th grade, I can't remember his name, but he was also the principal. So that was the only 2.
Remember?
You had one row of desk was the 1st grade, the 2nd row was the 2nd grade, 3rd row was 4th grade, 3rd grade.
Do you have any idea how many kids, how many students were there?
Well, in my class, I could probably name all of them. I was the only boy.
Oh, really?
There was probably, I'm guessing, 6 or 8 in my class.
When it was time to go to Buxton to go to school,
I was scared to death.
You were?
Yes.
I was going to ask if that was something that made you nervous,
yes.
like you were...
Yeah, being used to this school where you had, one schoolroom and you had the auditorium and the other schoolroom. Then going down to this one, it was only, you walked in, you walked to the left, there's some classrooms, and you turned and walked down the hall to the right, and there's classrooms. That's all they were, besides the auditorium and the cafeteria. And I thought, I'm never going to learn my way around here. But yeah, it was comical. Yeah, scared to death. Mr. Mercer was my first teacher down there.
Did you eventually like it?
Oh yeah. Because I just met, there's so many more people you met, and started hanging around with mostly people from Hatteras, really. In fact, when they had in '62, when the Inlet Cut Through right outside of Buxton, I was driving the school bus that year. I was a senior. Yeah, seniors drove school buses. I made $42 a month. Some people, they converted the Little Kennebec Coast Guard Station into a school. So some people went there to the school, and then others stayed with friends or family they had in Buxton or Hatteras or Frisco. And I stayed in Hatteras with a friend of mine. In fact, he just passed away, Charles Brown. It was Charles Brown's mom and dad.
Okay.
Because his mother was a teacher up there, Hilda Brown.
Do you remember that storm, that Ash Wednesday storm?
Oh yeah, very well. I left. I don't remember it being bad. In fact, I took the bus. We was up on North End Road living with my dad and mom, and I picked up all the kids that morning. Was on my way out to the main road to head for school, and someone stopped me at the corner where you come out of the village. Asked me where I was going. I said, I'm going to school like I do every day. And they says, no, you can't get south of Big Kennebec Station. I said, what are you talking about?
Oh my goodness.
I said, well, it's sand. And then on the other side of the sand is an inlet. I said, oh yeah, right. And I left. I didn't believe them. I left and went down, and I got on the other side, and there's nothing but sand.
Wow.
So I took everybody, and I went back. I called the principal. Byron Jerome Salter was the principal. And I says, Mr. Salter, this is Dallas. I said, I can't get to school. He says, why not? I said, there's an inlet cut through. Well, he didn't believe me. He says, I'll call you back. I said, okay. Evidently he left, went up and saw there was an inlet there, and he calls me and he says, oh, they are an inlet. I says, yeah. So then they, like I say, they opened up the school at Little Kennebec, and then they had, then people stayed with people in, you know, Buxton, Frisco, and Hatteras, and I stayed with Charles in Hatteras. And they ran ferries. In fact, my dad ran one of them from Hatteras Inlet to Avon Harbor. On Friday, after school, I would go down to Hatteras and catch the ferry and ride it and stay home for the weekend. And then Sunday night, I'd go back on the ferry and stay the week down there.
How long was that inlet there? Do you remember?
No, I don't. I know they put the temporary bridge across there. Sometimes if the sea was rough and the tide was high, you would have to wait on one side of the bridge until the water washed across it and then go across.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah.